morning, Cleveland County.
Morning, Cleveland County.
I'm here with Butch Pfeiffer, and don't try to spell his name. I can't. It's impossible. Butch is a former AT&T guy.
No, I work for Time Warner Cable.
Time Warner Cable. Yes. But he's now putting all of his efforts into growing okra and weeds like elderberry and cows and hay and all kinds of stuff, right?
You got it.
That's good. Good. You got to be smart to do all that. Got to be smart to work for Time Warner. Greg Tillman speaks highly of your work with him.
I've known Greg a long time.
Yeah. Well, elderberries. We took pictures of the flowers, which you've just seen. That was, we figure, in May sometime.
Late May.
And so now we're here with the result of the flowers. These are elderberries. We did get a picture of an elderberry, where was that? Right here, with an elderberry berries and some flowers. So they are going to be, of course, the berries that result from these flowers will not make, correct?
Probably.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be cooler weather coming one of these days. But this is what all those little flowers have created, are these berries. And I've been given a tool, and this makes so much more sense. I was actually ready to pick each one of these off, but that's a no-no. That's when you sit on your rocking chair with your beer or your glass of wine.
No, it's usually in the morning, so.
Well, see, you could do it in the afternoon, Butch. You don't have this system right. You got to have some sort of entertainment while you're doing this. But anyway, and I guess I'm assuming I'm doing this right. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Just whatever. Well, you don't need all the foliage here.
You're not.
I guess I'll take off the foliage here. So, talk to me about the berries. Have you been watching them along and so forth?
Yeah, the berries go, first you'll see the white flower, and then you'll see little green berries. And the berries then will turn red. And usually late July, early August, middle of August, we're picking berries. And as you can see now, they're dark purple in color. And those are the kind of berries that you need, that has all the nutrients, vitamins, and all the good stuff that elderberries produce. So,
and we were talking a little bit before we got on the air. It takes how many of these to make a gallon of elderberry juice? And we'll review this again when we, on the third half of our show, we're going to be showing you how to make elderberry juice. But anyway, I was astounded at what you just told us.
I believe it's a cup per quart. And I'd have to check with my wife on the details of that, because usually she's making the elderberry juice.
Right.
So, but I believe it's 1 8-ounce cup for a quart of elderberry juice.
Of the juice.
Yep.
Now, of course, it's so lucky that these freeze well, I'm assuming.
Yep. They do.
Is that, you pick these off, this stem thing, and then package them in what, quart-size jar or
usually
containers?
Usually just gallon bags, Ziploc bags.
Oh, okay. Well, that jeepers. How many makes it? Well, I don't even want to think.
I'll fill that bowl up, and usually we get about 1.5 gallons. That bowl will have a hump on the top from that bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably a level bowl would be about 1 gallon of berries.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Well, now, folks, remember what we told you, that these elderberries grow wild along the roads, along the barns, edges of barns. We found a barn right up. I found the barn up here.
You did.
That had a bunch of elderberries. So obviously you grow enough on your place to make all your gallons of elderberry juice. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
But you can hunt the road ditches and just along creek banks if you get permission.
Railroad tracks, I found them all over the place.
Oh, good. Well, that's great.
Along the sides.
So if you're interested, now is the time to go out and do this. Of course, we don't know when we're going to show this entire show, so but keep this in mind for next year if we miss the season when we go on air with you all. We sometimes try to stay ahead, and of course, when we're dealing here with plants that take like an entire season to grow and mature, that's why we're doing this today. So anyway, Butch, do you have anything more to add?
No, other than the process of, I don't know, I call it shucking berries. I'll sit down and clean those stems off. And actually the elderberry plant and the stems and leaves are, they say, poisonous.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. Keep that in your mind too.
But the berries themselves, I don't know. I had an aunt tell me that they used to eat them as a kid and nobody ever got sick. So I don't know. And I know a friend that made, his mom made elderberry pie. Because there are seeds. There are seeds in those berries.
Yeah, but they're not great big, are they? No. Or are they? Well, it's just like a muscadine pie. Okay. You know, with a muscadine pie, I extract the seeds, but I just cook the skins and the meats together and make that the juice that will make the fruit part of the pie. So I would think it'd be the same thing. Whoa, here's a what do you call those things? Stink bug. My God, I didn't mean to do that. Whew. One of these days, folks, we're going to have to be looking out for the spotted lanternfly. Keep that insect in your mind. They are as cantankerous and as nasty, even more nasty than stink bugs. Stink bugs. They'll get in your house. They're terrible. So you might want to look up the spotted lanternfly as a piece of sort of information that we're passing along with our program. All right, Butch, anything else that we can add? Do I need to cut all? I mean, you will eventually cut all these, right?
Yep.
Great, great, great. Do you fertilize these elderberries?
Actually, I do not.
Okay, you do not.
I do not. They do like to be mulched, though. The plants I found that like to be mulched. Now, I'll put grass clippings, leaves, composted stuff like that. So.
Well, that's kind of fertilizing.
Yeah, I guess in a way it is.
But maybe if you really put like some nitrogen or something else good on them, they'd be twice as big. That's a thought.
Is bigger better, or?
Oh, bigger is better.
Well, I think that's what's wrong with the world, though. There's too many chemicals in it. They say even the rainwater now isn't safe to drink. There's chemicals in it. So,
well, good for you. Thank you for that bit of philosophy.
That's just like the way I feel. I try to keep things organic as much as possible.
And good. Thank you for that. Well, I was really referring to organic fertilizer.
Oh, okay. Got me on that one.
Yeah, good. Well, folks, go out and pick you some elderberries. If we air this in the season that you can. Remember, though, for next year. Thank you for being patient with us. We enjoyed it. We followed up with the flowers to the berries. And stay tuned. We're going to make elderberry juice.
Listen up. Do you have a passion for cooking? A desire to learn more about the craft of professional food preparation? If so, now's a great time to check out Cleveland Community College's brand new Culinary Arts Academy. This exciting 3-month program offers hands-on training for jobs in the food service industry. Across the nation, food service is one of the fastest growing industries. With your training at CCC's Culinary Arts Academy, you can compete for jobs in hotels, restaurants, conference centers, cruise ships, and other settings. Enroll in CCC's program and you'll gain in-depth training in food procedures, preparation, and commercial kitchen operations. Plus, the program includes a special add-on, you'll get your certificate in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR training. You can earn good money too. Depending on where you work, starting salaries range from $20,000 to $50,000. In just 12 weeks, you can be well on your way to gaining the know-how to handle food safely, properly, as a true professional. Now ask yourself, are you ready to start your journey today at CCC?
Between your job, your family, and other demands on your time, life can get pretty hectic. So we want you to take time for yourself. Hi, I'm Jennifer Harrell, and I want you to join me for your health. Each month, the Cleveland County Health Department and C19 TV will explore topics that affect you and your family's health. We'll discuss the importance of exercise, a healthy diet, and regular health screenings and checkups. From fitness tips to warning signs to the latest healthcare news. For Your Health will help keep you in shape and up to date in Cleveland County. We want you to be your best, so join us each month for Your Health, right here on Spectrum Cable and online, c19.tv.
I encourage my patients to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Vaccinations protect you from this serious disease. If you're trying to become pregnant now or plan to try in the future, you can get COVID-19 vaccines. Learn more at cdc.gov.
At CCC, we're all about training students for exciting careers. Our Barber Academy is a great example. Did you know jobs for barbers, stylists, and other related fields are increasing? Competition for the best jobs will be strong. With your CCC training, you'll have a definite edge. Our courses give you the skills and knowledge you need to sit for North Carolina's Apprentice Barber exam. To move up the ladder, you need at least 1 year of on-the-job training before you take the state's registered barber exam. If you pass, it's official. You'll be a registered barber. While private barber schools can cost $10,000 or more, CCC makes it affordable. Plus, you can complete our Barber Academy in only 15 months. Now the question is, are you ready to start your journey today?
Education is our most powerful tool to improve and change our world. Hi, I'm Rhonda Benfield, your host for School Matters. Join me for a new program every other week with information from and about the students and staff of Cleveland County Schools. Discover what our schools are doing to challenge students and help them reach their full potential. You can catch us on Spectrum Cable Channel 19 or stream us live on c19.tv.
Welcome, Cleveland County. This is our September show, and I am pleased to be here in Cooperative Extension's kitchen. Thank you, County Commissioners. With Dee Dee Pfeiffer. Don't try to spell Pfeiffer, I can never do it. Her husband Butch is really the farmer of your operation, but you're in the kitchen, you're canning and supporting Butch as the farmer. You all have cattle as well besides vegetables. But we're here today to talk about elderberries. One other piece of information that you need to know about Dee Dee is that she was a travel agent for over 20 years. So she's been around the world, so to speak, and she is now in the kitchen, and we are going to show you how to make elderberry syrup. So, Dee Dee, let's talk first about elderberries. We do realize, and folks, heads up with this, that every part of the elderberry but the fruit is toxic.
Yes.
And of course you've seen where it grows on the farm. We've shown the flowers and the berries, and then this is the final product.
Yes.
But cooking, simmering, heating releases all the toxins from our fruit. And the seeds that are in these tiny little things, you remember those, are going to be caught in this cheesecloth material. Yes. So there's nothing toxic that will go into the juice.
No.
All right, Dee Dee, so do you want to explain now what you've done?
I start out with 4 cups of distilled water, 2 cups of berries, and I bring it up to a boil with the lid on it.
Okay.
And I cook it for about 45 minutes just to extract the juice.
Okay.
And then I take the lid off, turn it back up, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Or until I've reduced it by my half a cup,
All right.
one or the other.
Kind of getting it more
Trying to get it
concentrated.
right. And then I let it steep for an hour.
On a low temperature.
Off of the temperature. I set it
Oh,
off of the
off
temperature.
the okay.
And let it steep.
Okay.
For an
okay.
hour.
All right. And this is with the berries
Right.
still in it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then after that, I strain it.
And that's what we're going to do
And that's
right
what
now.
we're gonna do.
Okay. Well, strain away,
turn
girl.
this- I hope I don't pour it all over everything.
All right. Oh, it's a beautiful color. And I see some of the seeds going in. Cheesecloth. Where do you get your cheesecloth?
Walmart.
Walmart. Well, that's where we
It's
get
usually
everything,
in the
right?
decorating section
Ah,
because
well,
they
that's
use
a good
it
thing to know.
for decorating.
Yeah. Now, okay. So you're scooping all the. Why don't we show with this camera right over here what that looks like?
If I can get turned around.
All right. They're very good. Outstanding. Good. 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 Okay.
And I'm not left-handed, so.
You are?
I'm
Oh,
not.
you're not. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, that's probably good enough. Good enough. There, yeah. All right. Good deal.
I'll put
Oh,
my
and then
gloves on.
oh, and you're gonna squeeze that
I am
thing,
gonna
aren't
squeeze
you?
as much
Oh,
juice out of there
yes.
as I can possibly get.
And this would be also a substance that you could make jelly, elderberry jelly, elderberry jam, elderberry wine.
Yep.
What else? Anything else we can make out of it?
They make pie, but they use the whole berry.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and I don't know how they get by with that.
Well, because that would include the seed too, wouldn't it? But maybe if you've cooked it, it's released all its toxins. While she's squeezing away, there are other vitamins in elderberries: vitamin A, potassium, calcium, vitamin C, B6, folate, and there are also a lot of antioxidants and anthocyanins, which are all good nutritional things for us. I will tell you folks, I drank her elderberry juice for 2 years during the big epidemic, and guess what? I never got COVID. So I am attributing my health to this wonderful juice. Okay. All right, getting it all. And then, of course, do you throw the cheesecloth away?
No, I dump
Okay.
out my seeds and then I wash it.
Oh, well, that in the washing machine? Mm-hmm. Does it not stain all the other things in your wash?
I use mean green,
Mean green.
and it takes all of that out.
Oh, good for you.
See, I'm a little less than what I normally am.
Yeah, okay.
And that's probably from steeping it. a little
Okay.
bit
Oh,
longer.
yeah, sure. We let it sit here on the stove a
Right.
good while. Okay, now what are we adding
We
to
are
this
adding
juice?
a half a cup of honey.
All right, and there's something special about this honey, Dee Dee.
It comes from about a mile down the road from me.
Okay,
So I always try to use local honey
okay,
because that has benefits also.
right.
It helps with allergies. And of course, it's good for your immune system too. So
Right. Okay. Good deal.
And then you just stir it until it finally all melts.
Okay, well, can I stir while you get your,
Sure.
and what she's done, because this is hot, and you pour hot into cold, you break the glass, right?
Right.
So she's steeped the jar in hot water, and this is stirring up really well, Dee Dee. Yeah, I don't feel any slimy or thicky stuff, but then you'd be able better to know.
That's it. Good to me.
Okay. Also, you can add, tell what you
You can add cinnamon stick, cloves, a piece of
ginger.
ginger.
Uh-huh.
Some people even use star anise. Some people add lemon juice to it,
Okay.
echinacea root.
Okay.
Basically, any spice that you like, you can add to it.
Sure.
And you do
Wow.
that during the cooking process, and then you
Okay.
strain all that out.
Okay.
But I don't add it to mine because certain people don't like.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can add it themselves.
They can just add it themselves.
Because I think you've said that some of your customers, will add like a cinnamon stick in there, and maybe a clove of not garlic. Help me out. Clove of cinnamon.
Cinnamons
or
and
cloves.
cloves.
Clove of clove.
Yes.
All right. There we go. Okay.
And then I just put the lid on it, and usually I have a full quart,
Right.
and put it in the refrigerator.
Well.
And it's good for at least 4 weeks in the refrigerator.
Oh, wow. Well, that's perfect. Well, I'll tell you, and what I took the jar and I went glug, glug, glug.
That's what I did.
Good deal.
Is that enough? You want more?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, perfect. I'm sorry. Perfect.
I'll spill it all over.
Well, here's to you all, and I'm going to try it right now. Oh, my. This is fabulous. Fabulous, Dee Dee.
Good.
Her number, if you're interested in purchasing anything, is, will you tell us?
It's 704-600-8522, and just send me a text.
Best to text.
Yes.
So, and with all your contact information, and she'll get back with you.
Yep.
Well, here's to you, Dee.
Thank you.
Here's to you, Butch, out there in the audience, and here's to all of us. May you be safe drinking elderberry juice.
So do you have any stories of prostate cancer patients who have had prostatitis in your practice?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. This is a really somewhat difficult area of being a prostate oncologist, having to deal with men that are running high PSA levels. Most of our patients have prostate cancer, and as I'm sure our audience is aware, there are many types of prostate cancer that can be monitored without treatment, and we use PSA monitoring to keep track of them. Prostatitis causes the PSA to act in a wonky fashion, and one of our standby standard methods for monitoring is sort of out the window. Let me just share a quick story about a patient of mine from Hawaii. Diagnosed back in 2007, he, 75-year-old attorney now, PSA was only 5. He had an ultrasound showing a normal-sized prostate. We talked about big prostates causing high PSA, but this man had a normal-sized prostate. In 2007, his PSA was normal. For a 42 cc gland, his PSA was about 5, which is fine. He did have a biopsy showing favorable intermediate risk prostate cancer, 3 + 4 = 7, with 10% grade 4 in one core from the right side apical part of his gland. He had a history of what we call acute prostatitis. Acute prostatitis means that someone can feel something. They're sore, they have a fever, or difficulty urinating, and he was treated with antibiotics and he got better, as oftentimes acute prostatitis responds nicely to that. So he had several biopsies over the years, and it always came back showing Gleason 3 + 3 + 3 + 3, and he was on Proscar during this time. Proscar is a medicine that blocks dihydrotestosterone and it lowers PSA. So we talked about how his PSA was normal at 5 for a 40 cc prostate, but for someone on Proscar, that's actually abnormal because we're supposed to double the PSA. And indeed, when he stopped the Proscar, I think it was around 2017, his PSA went up to 10 and then it went up to 16. And with his history of prostate cancer, this made everyone nervous. And he wasn't having any urinary symptoms that would suggest acute prostatitis. Had another MRI, he had another targeted biopsy, 3 + 3, nothing serious. And at one point, his PSA got all the way up to 20. And so, fortunately, there's a new type of technology out that we've been talking about called PSMA PET scans. And these PET scans can detect cancer anywhere in the body. And we wanted to make sure that his cancer hadn't spread and that we were missing something with this high PSA. And thankfully, the PSMA PET scan showed only uptake in the right area of the prostate, where his biopsies have been positive, and nowhere else in his body, to our great relief. So this is the sort of thing we struggle with in men that have low-grade cancer, and high PSAs they're not symptomatic. We call it chronic prostatitis. And it's pretty much the only thing we can use to explain why his PSA runs so high. He doesn't have a big prostate. He doesn't have a bad prostate cancer. Therefore, he has an inflammatory process, and some of his biopsies have shown some inflammation. Tough situation, but not at all uncommon. A lot of patients that are on active surveillance deal with these erratic PSAs due to background noise from their prostatitis.
So you mentioned that your patient was on Proscar. So what was that about? What was that being used for?
When PSA levels are running high, we know that Proscar can lower PSA in men that have enlarged prostates, and it doesn't lower PSA very well in men that have cancer. So it's tempting to administer some Proscar, otherwise known as finasteride, Avodart, or dutasteride. These are all the same category, to see if the PSA level will come down to validate that it is a prostatitis problem and not a cancer problem. The problem with these medicines, of course, is that they are known to inhibit or suppress libido. And so men's sex drive can really taper off while they're on these medicines. Not in everybody, probably 25-30% of men. So whenever I prescribe them, I warn them about that and tell them to stop it if that problem appears. But it can be handy, and we did see that in this patient whose PSA was maintained in the 4 to 5 range for a long time until when he stopped it, then it ballooned up to 15, even 20, and indicating that, once again, less likely to be a cancer problem, more likely to be a inflammation problem.
So Dr. Scholes, in the case that you read, you talked about the PSMA PET scan, and that is new technology, this incredible imaging that's come out lately, and we're waiting for FDA approval here in the US. But can you talk about how impactful that imaging is on now being able to tell whether it's an enlarged prostate, whether it's prostatitis, or just really being able to clarify that it is the cancer where it is?
Yeah, well, of course, being a cancer doctor, most of my patients, we have hundreds and hundreds of men that have low-grade prostate cancers that are on monitoring. And if their PSA starts misbehaving, then we get quite concerned. And we've always had to deal with the possibility that we're missing something. Is it not showing up on an MRI? Is it not showing up on an ultrasound? Are we missing it on a biopsy? Is there high-grade cancer lurking in a corner or even in some other part of the body? Maybe it's even spread. And this is what goes through everybody's minds, patients and doctors alike, when the PSA runs high. And so this new scan is so accurate and it's very sensitive. So we have found it quite comforting in these patients that are running high PSAs, presumably from chronic prostatitis, that when the scan shows that there's only a small spot of cancer in the prostate where we expect it to be, and it's nowhere else in the body, that we're still on the right track, that we are calling it prostatitis and we're not being fooled and lulled into thinking there's not a problem with the cancer when actually there could be. The scans are so much more accurate than the ones we had in the past. It's very comforting to know that there's nothing outside the prostate.
So these PSMA PET scans, we're still waiting for them to kind of be widespread in the US. Can you see those same nodes in a 3T MRI, and can that be the same confirmation as a PSMA scan would be?
The problem with MRIs for detecting abnormal lymph nodes with cancer is they have to be so chock full of cancer that they need to enlarge over 1/2 inch in diameter. So by then, you're really dealing with something that's become somewhat advanced. It's too late. You don't want to wait around for an MRI to show an enlarged lymph node. You want to find the cancer a lot earlier than that. And this is the advantage of the PSMA PET scan, is so you can pick up spots that are 3 or 4 millimeters across.
Thanks for watching. If you would like more information about anything we spoke about today, you can visit our website at pcri.org for more information. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have all sorts of prostate cancer videos coming out every single week.